Done by Dorothy. We are here today. We're working on episode 2 of our Ephemera Basis series, and we're actually going to be doing our washi matchbooks. So we'll get started with that. If you did episode 1, where we did the never-ending tag books, you have this strip of paper left over. You can use the strip of paper. If you haven't, then we're going to cut down, and we'll show you that in a second. So we're going to cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So you put your 8.5 at the top. Okay, we're actually going to cut it down at 2. Let me double check. Yes, 2.5. So we're going to cut it down at 2.5. There's our strip. That leaves a 6.5. Yeah, a 6-inch by 11 piece left. If you have not seen episode 1, find episode 1 of the Ephemera Base series, and you can make a never-ending tag book with that. So, but we are going to use today our 2.5-inch cutoff that we had. Okay, and we're going to trim this down to 8.5. And I'm actually working on a couple here, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. So please bear with me a moment while I do this. Okay. So I'm making several at a time. Okay. So, and then that's why we have our cutter out. Let's go ahead and do this. You can use any kind of paper. I'm using some cut off strips that I had of multicolored paper. You can use whole sheets of paper. You can do that however that you desire. We are going to need to cut this off at 2 1/4. So we're gonna do 2 1/4. And then, let me double check my measurements here so I know what, oops, I dropped my ruler. I am so sorry, guys. And then we're going to do this at 3. So 2 1/4 by 3 is what we're going to cut this down at. Let me get all my pages in there. I'm trying to cut all these together at once. Yeah, so you're going to go to 3. And I'm using a swing arm guillotine style cutter. So we did 3. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these up. And because I'm doing multiples, because all of our ephemera bases, so that you need 2 stacks. Like I'm using 5. So you need 10 pieces of paper. I'm doing different colors. Just because I like sort of having the different colors in there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then I will cut this one down as well. So give me just a second. And you will have some little squares left over that you can use for, ephemera, decorate ephemera and stuff. And, I use different colors, so now I have some different color squares, and this is the waist. Those little squares, and this is all that's left. So I mean, these little strips are great. You could do little ribbon, fabric ribbons, use them in your snippet rolls, all that kind of stuff. Okay, then we will need our scoreboard and our score tool, and I will be taking my little pages like this, and I'm just going to take maybe like 3 at a time, just because I find 3 works good. Slide on my scoreboard, and I'm going to score at the 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to score at the 1/2 inch mark when I pick it up, and I'm just going to sort of fold it, just to sort of, and I'm going to fold it both ways, just so that makes it where it wants to move better in our book. So, and I'm going to continue that until I get all of these done. And again, I'm going to fold backwards, forwards, yeah, so I mean, like, this series, the bases are, you know, I will end up decorating a couple of these in different videos, in an ephemera video. But for the bases, I wanted to create a series that was just literally where you could do like a multitude of bases and have them stocked up, like, you know, like blank tags, you know, different things like that we can use. So, you know, you have ephemera ready to go. So I want to make sure that these aren't, you know, I don't want the same colors repeated, you know, one after another. So, okay, and I'm going to set those to the side. And again, you know, we have where we, you know, scored all those. So that makes them where they want to bend better in our book. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to grab my little guide over here that I have. Okay, I have my little 8.5 by 2.5 strip. I'm going to lay it down, and here's we go. So we're going to score at 3.5. I'm double checking, yep, 3.5. 3.5. Right, and then you're going to go over 1/8 and do it at 3 5/8. And then we're going to go over 1 more 1/8 and do it at 3 3/4. Which is sort of going to create that, you know, yeah, I'll think of it here in a minute. Sort of that, yeah, I went blank, guys. I am sorry. Okay, then we're going to go over at 7 5/8. So you're going to find 7.5, 1/8 over, and there we go. Okay, so I'm going to set my scoreboard to the side because we're done with it. I am going to get my envelope punch, and okay, this is an envelope board. I just use it for my corner punch, and I'm going to corner punch all 4 corners. Just because, you know, that adds an extra, a little niceness to it. It makes it a little neater. I'll go back and score my other ones after I get done, but I wanted to work on this one. Okay, so I'm going to grab my score tool. I'm going to fold and burnish on all of the score lines, just because I find that it helps secure your folds. You do want to make sure you know, line it up before you score it, or before you burnish it, because sometimes, even though you score it, and it's extremely helpful, sometimes they don't line up exactly correct. And it's going to be a little hard on the 8th, you know, where you got those 1/8 of an inches, but it will work. Just be patient. And again, I'm going to burnish each and every one of those. That's going to create, I wanted to say accordion, but it's not accordion. There is another word for that. And I'm just drawing a blank. They used to have the desk that had the, yeah, anyway, it's not coming to me. Okay, so we've scored all those and burnished them. Okay, so this basically is what it's going to look like, right? Pretty simple. Okay, so we're going to take our little pages, and I'm going to grab, well, no. I used actual colored pages, so I'm not going to worry about inking them up around the edges so much. If you use coffee dyed, you may want to. So I am going to take my pages and make sure they're all lined up and even. I'm going to slide them up under the little tongue, and I want to make sure that they're even on, you know, I have an even amount of space on each side. So you should have, you know, roughly like a 1/16 on each side or so. So I'm going to push this up like that. Then I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. You can use whatever stapler you would like. I'm just using this because it's what I have here. And I'm going to come down, about, let's say, 1/4 of an inch in the center. And I'm going to staple, but I want to make sure that, there we go. And I'm going to staple. It doesn't have to be straight or anything. And then this is going to fold right? You're going to take this, just like the old-fashioned matchbooks, remember the matchbooks? And fold, and there you have your washi book. That is what you do. So how, you're like going, what in the world? Well, how in the world would you do washi in there? So let me grab some washi. I'm going to use this cloud washi. This is so cute. And again, we are doing the, you know, we will be doing a boho style in our March swaps in the Done by Dorothy Facebook group. You know, obviously this I would use in general. Now, I did cut mine a little shorter because I wanted to make sure I had lots of room. You can actually add, you know, if you want to take yours all the way to the end, you can. I just wanted a little bit of extra room space-wise. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because if this gets thicker and you need to make this end thicker, like, you know, by the time you get all your washi in there, say, you know, you're at 1/4 inch and you need to make that thicker, then all you would do is lay this back down on your scoreboard and go 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. So that gives me room to extend to this as this thickens out. Because once you get all your washi in there, it's going to thicken out. So technically, you know, you could possibly even go up to, you know, 1/2 inch. So that's going to allow you that extra space, you know, if you need to add it later on. And that's why I left that way. So I'm going to use my clouds on the front here because I just think these are so cute. I want to put my washi in. I always start on whatever the back side is, sort of towards the middle. Let me start at the bottom. I'll add this washi to the bottom. And then I'm just going to wrap it around. And vice versa, if you're giving this as a gift, and so maybe you don't want to do 10 pages, maybe you want to do 5, or you want to do 3, or, you know, how many ever you want to do. Like I said, and you're giving this as a gift, and you want to put washi in it, put your washi in it before you staple your pages in, and don't pull like that or you'll rip your page. You know, I did use, like I said, this is 24-pound paper. You can use cardstock if you'd rather have a thicker paper. You know, you could use a gloss cardstock, photo paper, you know, so you would get something a little thicker. You know, and then, you know, I would say go around, you know, it depends on how much you have, how much you want to share, you know. And then I sort of always try to rub mine down. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. It is raining here, so I always, you know, tear mine off and end mine on the back, just because I don't like all the goopiness on the front. So yeah, you're just gonna put that in there. So see, as you add, it's gonna get thicker, and then you just slide it under there, and then you just decorate the outside. So, you know, there is our ephemera base. Now, I consider it a base because I can decide whatever paper I want to use. Like if I want to use this kind of paper or whatever, I can make these up, not put any washi in them, you know, just make it up with the paper and have it like this. Have it in an ephemera folder, or, you know, in a box or whatever you store your ephemera in, and have it in there. So I'm doing any kind of journal. Say I'm doing a nature journal with flowers. I can pull this out. I can decorate it with flowers. I'm doing a boho. I can pull it out and decorate it in boho. I'm doing steampunk. Excuse me. I can pull it out and decorate it in steampunk. So it's just a base to start from. Then you'll go through, you know, and you'll add. And so by the time you end up adding, you know, everything you want, covering it or whatever, because you can mat these, you know, and I am working on a template, and we'll try to get that up, you know, in the next several days or whatever, with the mats and everything, so you can trace the mats and actually build it and be ready to go. So, or you can use this, you can make this out of double-sided scrapbook paper. So you have, you know, it's already decorated, especially if you're using a kit. Say, you know, if you're doing a Tim Holtz style journal, then, and you're using, say, wallflowers, his wallflowers paper collection, you could cut this. It's already decorated. You just have to embellish it and it's ready to go. So you literally can cut down on your ephemera. You know, and if you're, you know, this is 2 1/4 wide. You can make it 3. Say if you make it 3, you could make 4 of them out of one Tim Holtz thing, if you want to make them as, and you don't have to use this just as washi. You can use this as a journaling card, you know, as a journaling spot. You know, say you could cut them 3 inches wide and, you know, keep the 12 inches. And, you know, fold it just like we did this. You know, make it like this. And then put, you know, actual pages of coffee dyed paper, you know, that are 3 inches by, you know, you could do like 5 inches, you know, 4.5, 5 inches or so. So you've got a nice amount of journaling room that you can make. So yeah, there's lots of ideas. This is, again, it is a base. And I'm going to try to work on getting templates up for each and every one of my bases. Then, you know, you'll have the template. You literally can print it out on, you know, whatever cardstock you want to or whatever, and then you're good to go. So, you know, I'll work on that in the next couple days and try to get that out for everybody. So I hope you enjoyed making this. Again, you know, check out the swap in the Done by Dorothy Facebook group. Have a great day, and we will see you the next time we are back for our ephemera bases, episode 3. Have a great day.